Now,
Mhm.
with that being said, many are suffering from what is called bereavement overload, losing so many people we don't even know where to start. COVID, the pandemic,
Yeah.
was definitely one of those things. What are the signs that someone is overwhelmed by cumulative grief? And what is the first step towards processing it?
Mhm. So a clear sign can often, just in general, for feeling overwhelmed, be like shutting down, numbness,
Mhm.
just feeling like almost like a shell of yourself and not really
Mhm.
knowing where to start addressing what's there, or maybe even not being able to identify anymore because as kind of a coping mechanism, there's a detachment, right? Like it's you've kind of
Mhm.
pushed it more into the subconscious. So numbness and kind of feeling empty, things like that can be a sign. Because even though grief and depression, they commonly get mistaken for one another, they're not the same, but you can experience both at the same time. So it's really important
Mhm.
to remember that. And so if that's kind of occurring, it could be a sign that you're just like burned out from it all. And so to answer the other part of what you said of like, okay, so where do we start or what do we do? One, seeking community. I think that that's really important, even if it's just one person that you trust or your therapist or whatever it may be, and then choose some one of the events or one of the experiences that you had that were traumatic to just start with, trying to kind of zoom
Mhm.
in and imagining this journey as like a staircase and trying to focus on that stair in front of you as best you can,
Mhm.
knowing that as you move through those feelings, especially if you just allow yourself to talk about it freely, because that's really really important. Sometimes when people are processing, they're mistakenly worried about being perfect or things coming out perfectly, and that's not how processing actually works. It's kind of like a free writing, right? Or
Mhm.
and it can happen verbally. So the more that you allow yourself to just kind of talk and release, like even if you think you're not making sense, even if you think it's silly, even if you think it's not quite what you're feeling, I promise you that the freer you are in that discussion, the easier it will be to get to the meat of what's happening. So even just
Mhm.
starting with, okay, if you're not sure what you're feeling and why, what happened that day, what happened yesterday, like look, we're gonna get to it, we're gonna find it, but we just have to meet ourselves where we're at and be gentle and patient, and ideally doing that with someone else, at least as part of the process.
Mhm.
Journaling too can really help because that's another way to process and get things out.